They told her the game was simple: survive for 24 hours and walk away with $100 million. But what they didn't tell her was that every single person hunting her had already killed before, and none of them had ever lost. The sky was dark and heavy, clouds rolling across the horizon, lightning splitting the night. Lena ran through the dense forest, leaves slapping her face, rain soaking her hair and clothes, her boots sinking into the mud. She could hear footsteps behind her, distant shouts echoing through the trees. She glanced over her shoulder. Shadows moved between the trunks. She ducked behind a fallen tree. Heart pounding, lungs burning, she held her breath. The night was alive with danger, every sound amplified. A branch snapped nearby. She flinched. The footsteps were closer now. Fear clawed at her chest. She forced herself to move, sliding under low branches, pushing through the thick undergrowth, mud sticking to her fingers. Her mind racing what was waiting for her. She could see a faint light in the distance. She ran faster, slipping and sliding, her hands scraping against rough bark. She could hear them now, voices calling out, threatening, warning. She had no time to think, only to run. The forest seemed endless, twisted paths opening and closing. The rain fell harder, soaking everything. Water dripping into her eyes, stinging, blinding. She stumbled, fell hard into the mud. Pain shot through her leg. She gritted her teeth, forced herself to stand. The light was closer now. A clearing ahead. She could hear machines humming faintly, a structure rising in the distance, metal glinting in the storm. Lena hesitated, fear and curiosity battling inside her. She took a deep breath, ran toward the light, the forest behind her alive with threats. Each step carrying her closer to the unknown, closer to the facility where everything would change, where nothing would ever be the same. She could feel it in her bones. This night was far from over, and the hunt was just beginning. It was her. Subscribe now, because it is about to get darker. Lena moved through the facility cautiously, shadows stretching across the walls, machines humming softly, the air thick with tension, every step echoing, metal floors slick and cold, lights flickering overhead, her eyes scanning the room, every corner hiding a threat. She could hear distant voices, muffled but urgent, doors opening and closing in rhythm. She ducked behind a console, her heart pounding. She watched a group of guards pass by, calm and unaware of her presence. She waited, calculating, breathing slowly. The facility seemed endless, corridors twisting and turning, each step taking her deeper, deeper, deeper. She found a staircase leading down, dark and narrow. She descended carefully, listening for any sound, the hum of machines growing louder. She reached a lower level, the air thick with heat, and the scent of oil. Monitors lined the walls, glowing faintly, displaying locations, feeds and data. Lena studied them closely, realizing the scale of what she had stumbled into. The facility was not just a building, it was a machine, alive and watching. She had to be careful. One wrong move could be her last. She moved along the corridor, slipping past shadows, ducking under low pipes, her breathing steady, her mind sharp. She reached a door marked with strange symbols. Hesitation flickered across her face, curiosity winning over fear. She opened the door slowly. The room inside revealed rows of monitors and consoles, people seated in silence, watching screens, every eye focused, every movement precise. Lena stepped inside, unnoticed at first. Taking in the scene, she realized these were not guards. They were participants, survivors of the game, trained, ready, watching the world through the facility. The man she had followed entered behind her, calm and collected. He gestured toward the monitors, explaining without words the magnitude of the operation. Lena's eyes moved across the room, absorbing every detail, every face, telling a story of endurance and survival. She knew then that she was not alone, that the game was far bigger than she had imagined, and the next move she made would determine not just her fate, but the fate of everyone involved. There was no turning back. The hunt was escalating, and Lena had to adapt. She had to survive. The alarms started blaring, red lights flashing across the walls, the facility shaking with each thud. Lena moved quickly, crouching behind consoles, slipping through shadows, her heart pounding. machines whirring around her, the hum of technology almost deafening, every corner hiding a new threat. She could hear footsteps approaching. Closer and faster, she stayed low, pressing herself against the cold metal, eyes scanning the room. The man she had followed was ahead, calm, moving with purpose. She followed silently, every muscle tense. The corridors twisted, leading deeper into the facility. Doors on each side sealed tight, blinking lights indicating locked rooms. Lena ducked under a low pipe, pushing herself forward. She could hear whispers from behind screens, monitors showing live feeds, digital maps highlighting multiple locations. Her eyes widened as she realized the scale. This was more than a hunt. It was a network, a machine built for control. They passed more rooms, each filled with people, men and women, sitting quietly in front of consoles, watching, waiting, each survivor hardened, eyes wary, scars and marks telling stories of survival. Lena studied them, recognizing their strength, realizing she was not the first, not special, just different. The man gestured toward a massive map, holographic and glowing, red dots blinking across cities, feeds streaming from multiple locations. Lena understood. Now the stakes, phase 2 had begun. The hunt extended far beyond the forest. Beyond this facility, she could feel the tension, the danger building, her pulse quickening. She had to stay sharp. Every decision mattered. Every movement could be the difference between life and death. She moved through a narrow corridor, lights flickering overhead, her senses heightened, the faint hum of machines guiding her steps. She approached a large room, a war room, monitors covering every wall, showing maps, live feeds, satellite views. The room was alive with information, buzzing with anticipation. Lena stopped, taking it all in, the scale overwhelming. She realized the hunt was no longer just about survival. It was about power, about control. She clenched her fists, ready for what was coming, her mind sharp, body poised. She would not be caught unprepared. The game was evolving, the danger multiplying, and Lena had to evolve with it to face it head-on. She inhaled deeply, steadying herself, and stepped forward, the next phase of the hunt waiting for her, unseen threats lurking, the facility alive around her, the shadows moving, the hum of machines constant. Lena knew she had to survive, to outsmart, to fight and to endure, because the real challenge had only just begun. The alarms would not stop. Red lights flashed violently across the walls, sparks flying from damaged panels. The facility shook with each explosion. Lena ran without slowing, debris falling around her, metal floors buckling, smoke filling the corridors. She could hear gunfire behind her, bullets ricocheting, the sound deafening footsteps closing in fast, shadowy figures moving through the chaos. She turned sharply around a corner, dodging falling debris. Another corridor opened ahead, glowing faintly with emergency lights. Her lungs burned, heart pounding. She forced herself forward. A heavy door slammed in front of her. Locked tight, she pressed against it in vain. Rain and smoke dripping through the ceiling. She exhaled slowly, whispering to herself that they were trying to trap her. The lights flickered. A voice filled the hallway, calm and menacing, telling her she should have stayed in the game. It was him, the man behind everything. Lena turned slightly, replying calmly that she was never in his game. Footsteps approached from the shadows, slow and controlled. He stepped into view, no fear on his face, only cold disappointment. He spoke softly, saying she was perfect. They could have changed everything. Lena tilted her head, defiant, saying he meant control everything. He paused, then smiled faintly, agreeing it was the same thing. The walls cracked around them, dust falling from above, the facility collapsing. He was willing to die with it. Lena looked around. No time left. The final fight began, fists and feet clashing, sparks flying from metal, debris falling around them, both dangerous, both determined. She moved fast, dodging an attack, delivering a decisive strike. The antagonist fell. The building shook harder. The exit door came into view. She pushed through it, bursting outside, rain falling, jungle surrounding her, smoke rising from the collapsing facility. Silence settling over the ruins. Lena stood in the clearing, catching her breath. Realizing she was no longer hunted, she was the one coming, disappearing into the misty jungle, eyes focused, determined. The hunt was over for now, but the world had changed, and she was ready. Nothing would stop her. And this time there would be no rules. If you made it to the end, subscribe now, because the next story might be even more dangerous.